Welcome to the Family Photography Marketing Podcast, where we dive into the world of marketing and help you take your business to the next level. I'm your host, Fiona, a marketing expert with 10 years of experience in the family photography industry, and in each episode of this podcast, I'll be sharing my insights and strategies for successful marketing to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of digital and traditional marketing techniques. So whether you're just starting out or looking to fine-tune your marketing approach, this podcast has something for you. So join me and let's get started. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the ins and outs, sort of per the trend that's going around right now, but ours is going to be about marketing in 2024. So we'll start with the negative. We're going to start with what's out. So this is what we're not going to be focusing on. First up, number of followers. Goodbye. It's completely meaningless. And I want you to think about what it would feel like if you just cold turkey stopped caring about that metric. Like if you just let it go out of your head. I bet it would feel so freeing. And there's absolutely no reason to hyper focus on that. I know photographers who have 30,000 followers who made $10,000 last year because they couldn't book actual sessions in their communities. I know photographers who have 1,000 sessions who made $200,000 a year. There's like endless, unlimited data about the fact that that number does not matter. And yet I feel like it is at the forefront of our worthiness and our focus when it comes to marketing. So it's out. We're just going to drop kick it off a cliff. Okay, second, any photographer who is on a pedestal in your life, no, smash the pedestals down with your karate hands. They're not allowed. Do I personally think the work of other photographers is pretty? Sure. Do I sometimes get jealous of fun shoots that people are doing, or if they live in the Dolomites or they live across the street from Big Sur? Sure. I'm a human being, as we say in my family. But do I want to be that photographer? No. Am I going to chase her? No. Am I going to allow my brain to tell me lies about the existence of this other photographer's work somehow negates my work in any way? No. There's room for all of us, but you will waste so much time chasing other people instead of building your own ship. So 2024 is the year of building our own marketing ship. We're going to build the vessel that will carry this business upstream towards whatever profit goals you have. I just made that up on the spot. I'm just going to say I'm really proud of that. It wasn't even in my notes. Okay. In fact, chasing altogether is out in messaging, in marketing, in editing, in styling, all of it. Stop chasing. Start attracting people to your brand. You and your work are worthy of your own level of attractiveness. Sometimes we are so outwardly viewing the photography world, and this just came up in a group that I'm in, where someone was talking about how they feel like a lot of photographers are missing out on the chance to create their own voice because they look at someone else and their success and they think the only path is to emulate that person. And I think it was so true the way she worded it, how there's a big piece that you're missing out on there, which is like who you would be if you did have blinders on. Who would the artist be if you did not give two shites about what anyone else is doing? Would she look different than who you are now? If you weren't chasing the presets, the client closet, the location, the emotive posing, the whatever it is, if you weren't chasing that, if you were just settled a bit into your own authenticity and you were just sailing your own ship and building it to go upstream and marketing in a way that was authentic to you as well. Because I think there's a disconnect that happens too, where people have built their businesses too much on the backs of other people's visions. So then marketing it can feel inauthentic because your true artist heart is not there, right? You're just continuing to try to do what you think you should do. But the thing about it is that you're so much smarter than you think you are. You're so much more intuitive than you think you are. You're so much more creative. Your artistic vision is so much more clear than you think it is. So, chasing is out. Here's another out. Putting the website on the back burner. Your website is your storefront. I say it a million times. Make it easy to get around. Make it clean. Make it nice. Make it easy to find. Make it easy to find what they need inside of it. Make it easy to check out. Not a jumbled mess of silly goose behavior. So I just did all those 8 marketing reviews and I saw a lot of websites. Because there was a few of them that I saw that I didn't even feel comfortable putting on the podcast because there was literally work on there from like 2014 and it was clear the poor little doll had been left in a dumpster to just rot. So now more than ever, with Instagram being a weirdo, with all the things that are going on, you need a place that's yours, that speaks to what you're trying to speak about, that is true to your brand, that someone could go and just immerse themselves in to build trust with you. And unfortunately, if someone's on social media, they're so distracted because it's easy with one flick of a finger, they're on to the next photographer. If we can get them onto our website, they're in our storefront. They have to walk back out the door. So we want to get people there as much as possible. So we need to stop putting our website on the back burner. The other thing that's out is being afraid of AI. I'm not talking about AI images taking over everyone's work because I keep seeing that come up and I guess I just don't really understand how it's applicable except to very niche types of photography. Like maybe if you're a high-end commercial photographer and you're creating a billboard of a family at the beach to sell to like Delta, like go to the beach and we created this image. Yeah, they're probably going to use AI to create that. That's not our world. Our world is family connection, family memory. Nothing of that can be, if you took my family and you AI'd us, you AI-decide us. I don't know how you artificially intelligentized us onto a hillside that we were never at. What is my value there with that image? We were never there. It'd be so awkward if I put it on my wall and everyone's like, oh my God, where is that? And I'd be like, it's Google. Like, please, we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so because I'm a positive girly, let's switch to the ins. I'd much rather talk about the ins. So what's in for Instagram is going to be using Instagram as a testing ground for marketing. Get playful on there. Let your personality shine through. Let go of perfectionism. Long gone are the days of the perfect grid equaling a booked out calendar. They do not relate to each other. They're not even distant freaking cousins. Is it nice and good to have consistent work? Yes. But you don't need to overthink your Instagram to the level of perfectionism that you don't post on there because you're trying to keep it like a pristine porcelain artifact. We want it to be consistently providing good value and testable chances for you to interact with your audience, see what they like, use that data to become a better marketer. So it's not a porcelain kitchen and it's not an art gallery. That's just not what it is anymore. Perhaps back in the day, that was the Instagram advice. It was like, oh, if your Instagram feed doesn't look perfect, then you're fired. Which no one even looks at Instagram feeds like that. Like when I go to a photographer, I'm usually finding an image and then scrolling down. I'm not really judging their Instagram feed from 1,000-foot view, and neither is a client. Are they going to want to see consistent work? Yes, but I would so much rather you allow yourself to be a little bit playful there than overthink that part of it. Because then once you know what does well, you can repurpose that into more long-term channels. Because unless you're consistently doing reels have the longest shelf life on Instagram. So if you are doing reels, then that's awesome. But I would say that majority of everyone else is overthinking reels and not doing them anyway. So if you're not doing reels, the answer is not do reels. It's use Instagram as a marketing playground And then if you want to incorporate short form video as part of your marketing strategy, know that that's probably your longest form content on Instagram, but it'll last way longer other places like your website and Pinterest and places like that. So anyone who is trying to tell you that there is some sort of one fits all strategy on Instagram is lying to you, because it is all about your particular audience and what works well with them, in addition to what you can actually commit to as a marketer. Because if the advice was make 10 reels a week and you can't physically do that and you hate it, it doesn't matter if you're creating 10 reels a week and then hiding under your covers in a ball of resentment. So it's finding the balance of what works for you. Marketing with a plan is in. No more post and ghost. Why are you marketing? Who is it for? Plan to talk about it all the time. Somehow we have to get over ourselves a little bit here. Like, we have been almost bullied into this Instagram perfectionism, but the world and reality has moved past that. And what they actually love to watch, and what we all genuinely love to watch, are imperfect stories, right? So that brings us to the next one. Your face and your voice are in. First of all, they're perfect, just the way they are. There's nothing you need to change about them. Because guess what? The person who hires you is going to actually see your real face at some point. So there's no reason you have to hide it. It's not like they're never going to meet you. They're going to meet you, and how nice would it be for them if they had some familiarity with you when they did? Same thing with your voice. The first time that you start playing around with your own voice, you'll be like, who is that monster? And that's just normal, because you can't hear your own voice the way other people hear it until you do. And then suddenly you become completely desensitized to it, like me. My voice is just my other little friend who that's her. She's out there. She's talking. I'm fine with it. I literally do not care. I've actually decided that I just like my voice. So that's also a decision you can make that gives you freedom. All right. We're all about trust building, and using your own face is such a quick way to do that, and one of the easiest ways to do it. So when you think about creating an overall marketing strategy that's built on trust, it can feel really overwhelming. And an easy way to do that is making like a little promise to yourself that once a week you're going to show up and talk about what you're booking. Even if you just start in a story, first of all, please save that story so you can utilize it later if you want to. But just practice with it, even if just your mom is watching. Do you know how many years it was just my mom watching everything I do? So many years. It's fine. Everybody starts somewhere. Okay. In knowing how much money you want to make and marketing backwards towards that number. You can kill it in this business if you want to, but you have to know where you're going. And somewhere along the line, especially for women, it became supremely uncool to talk about or know anything about money. And I just think, why should it be such a secret? In fact, it can be extremely empowering, especially if you have like a photography industry friend, if you guys share your seasonal goals, your seasonal income goals, because it's motivating to both of you. And many of you aren't even sharing numbers like that with your partner. So those are like really empowering, bossy moves to make, to be like, yeah, I want to make this amount of money and I'm going to market until I reach that goal. So it's okay to put that goal down on paper. It's also okay if the goal is big and you didn't meet it. I gave myself an income goal this year that was a big, big stretch and I didn't hit it. And it's okay, because in the process of trying to get that goal, my photography only income was higher than it's ever been in all 12, 13 years I've been doing this. And it was a weird year. And that was just me implementing my own systems that I teach. Because that was what that whole year was about, was putting systems out there, seeing if they actually work, because nothing drives me crazier than people selling systems as photographers when they are no longer working photographers. You do not know what is going on if you have not tried to market on Instagram in 2023. If the last time you had to market your work was in 2019, it's a completely different world. So using those systems and seeing it was a 43% jump, which is huge, just through consistent marketing. And that's for a business that, yes, my business is established, but everyone knows that last year was just a really weird financial year for a lot of people. And I also have my studio that is new and doesn't have trust built around it. So it was those marketing strategies brought in as well to market that space. Okay, again, like I said, storytelling is in. Tell the stories of your business, your process, yourself. The humans of planet Earth are bored and they have small attention spans and they would love to watch your stories, even simple ones. And if those stories connect, you can use that data and repurpose that content. My dog is barking. I don't know if you can hear her. Speaking of repurposing, that is so in. This goes back to leaning on AI a little bit. So many tools now can turn your content into new content. I've discovered them on the podcast side. So like from this podcast, once I do this podcast, I'll use 2 different AI assisters to make this podcast into a YouTube video, transcribe it into a blog post, into a Pinterest post, all with literally one click of a button. It's completely insane. I just upload the voice content and I say, turn this into beep, 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 boop, bop, bop, bop. Those are the official sound effects. And it turns it into those. It just says, give me one moment. And I say, get on with it, girl. And it gives me all that stuff. So another thing I think you guys would be really smart to use is audio like this, because not that you have to put the audio out there, but you could use a service like Otter, which is an app. And you could, if you had a marketing idea, you could just talk about it. Just talk about what it is, where it is, what the locations are, all of that data, and then upload it into there's like a million AI tools out there that help you repurpose content, and it will listen to your episode and break it up into content that then you can just have. So if you're struggling to write, use your voice. If you're a good writer, you can upload that and have it repurposed for you. And even if you don't utilize everything it gives you so many ideas. It can just, sometimes the only way to start is to start. We cannot wait for motivation to hit us. That's not how it works. It's not motivation, it's discipline. It's saying, I'm going to show up and market and doing it. It's not waiting for this magical wand to smack you upside the head with motivation to market. I'm hardly ever motivated to market, but I've told myself that I will because I'm very committed to making this business a reality so I do not have to get a job. That's what's at stake for me. So maybe giving yourself a little bit of a higher stake, even if it's an income goal or a savings goal or a big trip at the end of the year or something that can help you stick to the discipline. So that will help you stop waiting for the motivation. Okay. Last one that's in. I've talked about it before. In-person marketing or events. Find or create one in-person event to talk about your business to other real humans in your town. Find a collaboration, find a coffee chat, find a hosted event, find something, because so much of our business is happening on a global scale. Like my Instagram is literally global. If I look at my stats, there's hardly any real moms who live in my town who can even see the minute amount of views I get. Of those, the amount of people who are ready to book me is so small. So get your face in the town is my challenge to you and what I think is in. Because not only will you become so good at talking about your business, you'll feel more like a local business, which is the correct marketing mindset for all of us, despite our ginormous diversion to Instagram. Before Instagram, that is how photographers marketed, like any small business in their town. But we've kind of gotten away from that in our attention seeking of non-localized eyes through apps like Instagram. So I think it's time to use Instagram as a way to test copy, to test photos, to poll your audience, to connect with your audience, to ask questions, to create helpful content, to learn how to be inspiring. But then we have to bring it all home to a local place. Okay. So that was today's episode. In other news, my mastermind filled up, which I was so excited about. I'm literally cannot wait for that. I might do another run of the mastermind, so I will link it to I will link to the waitlist. And then I'm thinking of doing a couple weeks of bi-weekly episodes, so I might be back on Thursday. Sorry for my energy today. I was feeling a little silly. Okay, talk to you guys soon.